Now you can really let those things rip.
What's going on, guys? Sam here with Speed Society, Stout Films on Instagram. I'm here to do a video that you guys have been waiting a whole long time to see. We're gonna walk around this 2020 C8 Corvette, go through all the cool stuff on the exterior, all the mods, and then I'm gonna hand the camera over to Mike the Wrench, and he's gonna go through all the interior stuff, and we're gonna take it out for a drive. So let's get into it. So this is Matrix C8. We decided to call this thing Matrix because that color you see, it's not white. This is actually called Matrix Gray, and it actually looks really, really good out here in the sun. And the gray really comes alive when you get some shade. So it just looks absolutely gorgeous. So Chevy's been building the Corvette since 1953, and when they started, it was always a front engine machine. I mean, I'm talking from 53 all the way up until 2019, every single Corvette that came off the production line had an engine in the front. So you can see why, as the first mid-engine Corvette, the C8 is a little bit controversial. That being said, there's a lot of good reasons why they decided to go mid-engine for this car and switch it up. This C8 is actually the quickest Corvette ever built, 0 to 60 in less than 3 seconds. And you get 500 horsepower from the factory. And we've added a few mods to take it to the next level. All right, so the first thing I want to get into, we're just going to start on the outside here. Aesthetically, what you first notice that's different from the factory on this car, I mean, you gotta start with the wheels, right? They are the biggest statement piece on the car. And these are some special wheels for sure. We partnered up with our friends over at ADV1 to give you guys these insane works of art and works of engineering. This is the ADV 05F track spec wheel. These are fully forged. They are designed for hardcore track use, and not only are they gonna perform amazing, they just look absolutely stunning. So if you guys aren't familiar, go do some research on ADV1. They are one of the leaders in designer wheels for the automotive industry, and that's why we always go with them for our cars. They just look incredible every single time, and you know they're gonna perform. So on these beautiful wheels, we have the Michelin Pilot Sport 4S tires. We're running a 255 here on the front and a 325 on the back. So you got a big, nice tire on the back, good setup all the way around, and this thing's gonna handle absolutely beautifully. So while we're talking about the wheel, let's talk about the Z51 package, which this car is also optioned with. When you choose that option, Chevy gives you bigger brakes, a performance-tuned suspension, different aero pieces to help cool down the car better, another radiator on the driver's side, 5 horsepower, 5 foot-pounds of torque, and it also includes Chevy's Performance Traction Management, which are all the driver-selectable modes that you can use in this car. So to help spruce up the outside of this thing, we have the absolutely beautiful and of course perfect fitting factory carbon effects package built by Chevy Performance. All carbon on this front splitter. You get these beautiful side skirts, and we also added the sold out, also made by Chevy Performance, high wing spoiler. All these things come together to make the car look really aggressive, and I'm telling you, this thing turns heads like no other car we've ever built. So one of the last things that we added to this car that you can see from the exterior is the Sissio Performance lowering kit. It's already been installed, and it still even allows you to use the factory nose lift feature. So all the functionality with the best look. Okay, so since we covered most of the exterior stuff, I'm gonna go ahead and start getting inside the car. And right here, where you would normally have the hood and you would pop it to see your nice big engine, you can actually press this button right under here, and it opens to your front trunk because the engine's not in there anymore. So you get some space up here to use in the front, and they even added some in the back. Let's go take a look. Let's go ahead and get into the back trunk where the engine is also hiding. Just lift this up, and there we go. This is the engine bay for the C8 Corvette. Here in the back, you actually get what Chevy says can fit 2 entire golf club bags worth of storage. So the roof actually comes off. It's a T-top car, and you can store it back here and lock it in with these clips. So super convenient. And then let's talk about the engine. So we have Chevy's LT2 putting out 500 horsepower. We have the engine appearance package, which gives you all this really nice carbon. You get the lights up here so you can see in here at night. And if you look closely, you can also see the Cook's headers hiding down there that we've already installed for you guys. So this thing sounds a whole lot better than stock already, and that's not even including the final piece of the puzzle, which we're gonna add at the end of the sweepstakes, which will go down here. We are waiting on a Fab Speed exhaust. It's their Super Sport X model, and it is gonna bring this thing to life. So, all right, you guys, that's pretty much it for the outside of the car, the engine bay, and some of these details. I'm gonna hand the camera off to Mike inside the car. He's gonna talk about some of the interior stuff, a few of the driver modes, and then he's gonna take it out and drive it. So, off to Mike.
All right, guys, let's talk about some of the interior features. So to start out, this was supposed to be the original C8. Before Curate, we went to the dealership and actually spec'd this car out as is, picked the interior, picked all the trim levels, and that's kind of how it started. But as we know, Chevy had a lot of back ordering and issues through the pandemic, but we're finally here. It was well worth the wait. With the 2LT package, you get a lot of things with it. So to start out, you get upgraded sound system, upgraded seats with heating and cooling, and obviously the carbon fiber, you have to have that. Has dual climate control. It has a slew of cameras. To start out, we have the digital rear view camera, which, as you guys know, with a high wing, usually in a conventional mirror, you're not gonna see much behind you. But Chevy mounted the camera high up here for the rear view mirror, and it actually allows you to look over the wing, and your mirror is a digital camera or a digital screen. And you can even switch it just like this, and it becomes a real functional mirror too. So you have both options there. And the best part is that's not the camera you use when you're backing up. So you have your backup camera, which comes off the bumper, so it gives you a more up close look and make sure you're not gonna back over one of those parking concrete things and destroy your diffuser. As well as on the front, you have a slew of cameras that'll tell you exactly how close you're getting that carbon front lip to any object that could damage it. We topped it off with this ACG forged carbon steering wheel and Alcantara sides. It's amazing, it's super ergonomic, it's beautiful, it's a work of art in itself. So we have our awesome Corvette key right here, ready to go, still with the dealer tags on it. And then we're gonna get to the drive modes. So obviously this car came with the Z51 package, which gives us all the PTM modes, which sometimes can be a little tricky to get into. So when you first start the car, you're gonna be in my mode. If you go one to the left, you're gonna see a snowflake pop in the screen down there on the bottom. That's your like wet and snow mode. And then we'll go back past our favorite mode, which is the normal mode, and you can set that up however you'd like. Then we're gonna move on over to Sport. You'll hear the valves on the exhaust open. And then one more to the right, and you're on race mode. So with the seats, they're really comfortable. Definitely a cockpit fighter jet feel. And I mean, if you're a little bit taller, I'm 5'10", I could definitely fit in here with the helmet. So there's definitely some wiggle room for some of you taller guys. So as most of you guys know, in the older generation Corvettes, you could pretty much just throw anything over your shoulder and it was in the trunk. But with the new one, we got this cool window and you can actually look back and see the engine moving and working while the car is going down the road. I don't recommend doing that from the driver's seat, but the passenger can definitely check that out. And then, even better, if it's your thing, or it's a beautiful day, and you want to pop the top off, it's got a removable top, and it'll fit in the trunk perfectly secured. You don't have to worry about it moving around, getting damaged. So you just pop it off. One person can do it, and you got a convertible. Like, all right, so we got it in PTM Sport 2. Only way to start out, we're gonna start out with a launch. So it's in the mode right now. I'm gonna put a lot of good brake pressure down. And you can feel that, and it leaves in a hurry. So we're gonna go start cruising on the road and see what, give you a little feel of the different driving modes. So right now we're in track mode, which is gonna be our stiffest suspension mode. And with the valves open, you can hear those Cook's headers just screaming. So very, very stiff here. Lots of good handling, but you can soften it up a little bit, switch it over to sport mode. A little bit more tame on the suspension. This car is planted no matter how you cut it. Great feeling, well-rounded, very controllable. It still has a lot of confidence in the driver. With these Michelin tires, you can push this car just about as hard as you want. You might get a little bit of understeer, but it's pretty difficult to get this car to have a good bit of oversteer, or at least anything that'll get you in trouble. And still, without the launch, it gets off the line in a hurry. If you're not in the mood to go fast, we can switch it on over to comfort or touring mode. You'll hear the valves close, way quieter, a lot more comfortable ride, softer suspension, so you're not gonna feel every single big bump. And you'll still have all the performance, all the power is still there. The car is very forgiving and very, gives you a lot of confidence. It still has a lot of confidence in the driver. And then you can still see in touring mode, it still hauls ass. It's planted, it's forgiving, it's not gonna hurt you unless you do something probably really stupid. So as long as you stay away from stupid stuff, this isn't gonna be your car. And in comfort mode, you can hear how much quieter it really is. Even if we roll the windows down, and you can hear those cooks a lot better. But when you switch it back over to track or sport mode, now you can really let those things rip. So now that we've covered the sound and everything else about this car, super balanced. The braking's very stable. The brakes are amazing, especially when you get some heat into them. Feel great, perform great. This car is ready to hit the track pretty much when you are. Another thing you'll notice in this, it has a dual clutch transmission. So you can switch it over to manual mode and bang gears if you want from the steering wheel. We got these forged carbon paddles, but you can just hear how fast that thing is shifting and feel it. It's really a driver's car. You get to just sit back, enjoy it, and it's nice because you don't have to worry about it sneaking up on you. It's gonna be there, it's gonna do what it's supposed to every single time.
So to wrap up Matrix, the final cherry on top is that we're going to be throwing in a 2-day full expenses paid trip to the Ron Fellows Corvette School of Driving at the Spring Mountain Ranch right outside Las Vegas, Nevada. The winner is going to get to take their brand new car and go drive on a track with some of the best and learn everything all about it. We're super excited to be partnering with the guys over at Spring Mountain Ranch and the Ron Fellows School, so please go check them out when you get a chance. All right, you guys, that's pretty much it for Matrix, the C8 Corvette, plus 20 grand in cash that you get a chance to win. There's less than 30 days left to go ahead and get entered for the sweepstakes. So if you're not entered, go to speedsociety.com, pick out any of your favorite products from the store, and you're gonna get automatically entered to win the car plus the cash. Good luck, you guys, and we'll see you on the next one.